the Philadelphia Fusion. They are on a rampage right now, and Carpe, EQO, those guys, they are amazing. And somewhere in the building, I imagine Shadowburn is smiling. Haha, just kidding. We know Shadowburn doesn't really smile unless there's a cute puppy near him. Anyways, the Philadelphia Fusion, they're up 2-0, but the Florida Mayhem, they are super capable of pulling off that reverse sweep. So let's go ahead and get into some second half action and kick it over to our casters, Uber and Mr. X.
Rampage is correct, I think. Safe to say, Matt, like, the Fusion looking very, very fast. The addition of EQO, we've already seen him once this week. We were impressed. Now we know it wasn't just a flash in the plan. It wasn't a pan, sorry. It wasn't just a fluke. He's looking very good. And he looks stylistically very different to Shadowburn.
Yeah, it just seems like he's just way more aggressive. Like, when these dives come on through, he's right in the mix. You know, Shadowburn, fantastic NG, one of the best in the world. You know, always seems to come up clutch with those blades. You know, it just seems like EQO is just diving with this team a little bit more. It seems like the synergy is just a little bit better on the side with the Mayhem, though. It seems like they're a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, and it's definitely a big indicator of LogiX for that entire map is unable to score a final blow on Carpe, and Carpe, with the help of his teammates, of course, as always is the case, you know, focuses down LogiX. It makes you wonder, what's LogiX's priority? Is he trying to burst down tanks? Because he often has about the same, if not more damage than Carpe, but always sort of less final blows in a lot of these rounds. It's a complicated process to try and dig through because there's a lot of things that could be factoring in, but we do often watch LogiX say he's more happy just, like I said at the start of the map, charging pulse bombs, shooting tanks, and then blowing them up.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like the opposite, right? Like, he kind of puts all the damage on the tanks, and like they want TviQ to finish it off at range of 76, or like it should be kind of reversed, right? Where TviQ's putting down all this damage, and then LogiX finishing it off.
Well, halftime is done, and now it's time to head into Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise, the Mayhem on the ropes here. But we're better than Hollywood to stage an epic comeback, especially when you're down in the dumps. Anyone can make it in this city, so I've heard.
And it's an odd showing from the Mayhem in our first two maps, considering how good they played New York the other day. They were very good against NYXL. I think it just kind of speaks to how strong Philly is.
Yeah, I feel like a transitive property anecdote is coming on, perhaps, but I look at the Fusion played differently, and it definitely, I feel like they had watched Mayhem's game this series. You know, prior, they had a very good understanding of how they were operating, especially, like you said,
Hanamura.
Yeah,
Hanamura, the Florida Mayhem, they were able to leave Zippe by that mega health pack on offense, and he was just able to just put down damage against NYXL. This time, Philadelphia knew exactly that was coming. They were able to take advantage of it. Philadelphia, no surprises. Genji Tracer, Winston D.Va. Boobox looked like Moira, so a little bit of a change here. But Moira very good on this first point of the map. You're able to just get right through this choke, use her orbs to very good effect.
There's no reason, though, for Boombox not to expect Manitin to be piloting D.Vas. So he will be playing differently around his biotic orbs, trying to use them more locally instead of sending a damaging orb right into the enemy team. Looks like they might have actually caught TviQ out in his own, though, Matt. Oh, Boombox, biotic grasp, gets him low. And now the Fusion have got to be careful because they put themselves in a small corridor against the Junkrat.
Yeah, there's no Winston on the side of the Florida Mayhem, so Swoosh is playing Roadhog here. Typically, you would see Manitin play Roadhog, but they want to keep Manitin on that D.Va roll. You see they push Florida Mayhem all the way back to the cafe. That'll be one tick. A lot of progress going here over to Philly.
So the Mayhem are being put on a house arrest. They can't even get out of the cafe at this stage. Echo, the man at the door, reflecting the damage back and then joining up on that high ground. He wants to go over, very roundabout way, but he's hunting TviQ. And Echo dive bombs him. Still around, of course, but that's big. LogiX falling straight after, and Echo, or EQO, should I say, making very, very hard. Zebasai eats a melee attack. That's a huge fight for EQO. Oh, give him some twinings after that one. Why not? That was impressive.
It's just a really odd fight in terms of that Philadelphia is able to get 2 ticks before anybody drops, really, on both sides. It seems like Florida was really playing around TviQ, getting that rip tire. He went all the way to the back, was able to use it. He gets 1 kill, but it kind of takes all that Junkrat damage during that out of the fight. And they were the Philadelphia Fusion able to pick up 2 kills during that. They don't really get a ton out of it. So now you'll have both support ults come online for the Florida Mayhem. TviQ will switch over to Genji here. It's going to be the nano boost that leads things off, though, on the Swoosh.
Yeah, Fusion trying to get aggressive here. Swoosh wants to sit back on that payload a little bit more, but he was essentially on his own. Despite being nano boost, he'd taken so much damage that he had to play passively anyway. Zebasai, an attempt of rescue here, surely for Zupe. But guess what? Zupe goes to Zebasai with a healing, and LogiX doesn't benefit from it anymore. Now the Dragon Blade coming in. EQO, he's going big. Swoosh cuts him down. It was a running riot. Someone finally managed to stop him, but guess what? When EQO goes down, Carpe steps up. Unbelievable. These DPSs on the Fusion are so frightening.
And they used the Transcendence to try and save their Ana, did the Florida Mayhem. And by the time they went there, it was like exactly what Philadelphia wanted. They got both support ults, then EQO can use his Dragon Blade, just cut right on through. The payload is pretty much moved uncontested here, getting very close to taking point B. Carpe with a pulse bomb.
Oh, he
takes
nailed
it
it
on the Manitou.
Yep, just as Manitou was being ejected from his mech load, no less. That is massive. Even though there was a self-destruct that got off, it doesn't really matter. No one was really there to see it. Carpe picks up Zephyr in the air. Zupe knows he's endangered species right now. He will fall. Poco, a big fight for him, and every individual on this roster for Philadelphia is standing up, and the Florida Mayhem aren't doing a great job of finding their footing, and now they're split spawned as well. This is going to hurt. They're going to get farmed for ultimate percentage here, no doubt.
And they're not able to build up anything towards their own ults. I mean, TviQ will have Dragon Blade for this next fight, but you have Transcendence on the other side for the Philadelphia Fusion. You also have Primal Rage for the Florida Mayhem. Maybe Swoosh can get in there and force out that Transcendence before TviQ uses that Dragon Blade. Get some good use of it. If you don't get a good use of the Dragon Blade, right, and they're able to use that Transcendence to counter it, then you're looking at a sound barrier plus your own Dragon Blade coming in for the Philadelphia Fusion with a good opportunity to close out this map with a really good time.
TviQ needs to stem the bleeding somehow, and ironically, he'll probably have to do so by pulling out the Dragon Blade. Zupe assists, headshot, EQO is down. He was very deep there in Mayhem territory, so now they dealt with him, they can look for more. Boombox, the time out there on that Transcendence, but he's actually managing to keep a distance from TviQ. Eventually, he's taken down, but it wasn't by the Ninja Man himself. No, it was Batten. Now TviQ to climb up, benefiting from that Harmony Orb, just trying to stay out of the fight just enough to get himself back in there. And that may have been an attempt to zone there from Poco to force a disengage from the Mayhem, and it did work.
Well, you see the payload moving just a little bit. Now the Philadelphia Fusion have an opportunity to do exactly what Florida Mayhem just did to them. They can use that sound barrier. They're going to use this, try and force out the Transcendence, what they do here. You see EQO holding onto this blade, waiting until the effects of that Transcendence wear off.
So now we'll see who did it better, the Fusion or the Mayhem. EQO more than happy to try and duel it out there with TviQ, but the man is determined here to shut down this one individual player on your screen. Big backsteps here for EQO. Again, when there's a Zenyatta, when you know there's a Zenyatta charging those orbs of destruction, Genji reflect can be quite fortuitous.
You do have the Florida Mayhem build up towards their sound barrier, so you'll have at least that support ult in this next fight. Fraggy and EQO trying to go on a little bit of a flank there. They get spotted by Manitou. You see the payload just being contested and moved here.
Oh, that might be it.
On to TviQ. Now let's see the push come on through.
I tell you what, he's a young, plucky man, EQO. More than happy to disrespect his opponents now. Self-destruct. Oh, we thought to get away from that one.
Okay.
They say, Matt, pride comes before a fall. Perhaps that's what we saw there. Either way, EQO succumbs to the self-destruct. And the Fusion might have to go back to the drawing board. However, Swoosh, it's a little bit overzealous there and is found. Fraggy's more than happy to actually keep the battle lines quite extended into Mayhem territory.
Well, you still have a lot of time here for the Philadelphia Fusion. You're going to have both support ults coming back. TviQ with the Dragon Blade, though, cuts through Neptuno. They're going to use their Transcendence and push on in. So the Florida Mayhem will get a fight win here, Mitch. But now the Fusion will have an opportunity with both support ults and their Dragon Blade to come on this next attack and close the map out.
Oh, TviQ, be careful. You may have bitten up more than you can chew here, son. Oh, no. It's danger territory. EQO is saving that Dragon Blade. He didn't even use one. When TviQ can use two, and yes, it looks like it's time to start the fight. Now, sound barrier. The doors are open, and the Fusion are looking to take advantage of the man deficit. The disadvantage of the Mayhem have put themselves in there. TviQ going for a little bit too much, and now it's going to come back to bite him in the rear. Dragon Blade expires. Now Pomerate Winston over on the point, but Swoosh is taken down despite his inflated health pool. Now the chase on the Zephyr side. An easy dispatch. Manitou desuited. Pulse Bomb dropped on him, and now will be taken down very quickly. And EQO is all about this fight. Boombox falls in the backline, but Carpe once again goes and deals with the problem with LogiX. There it is, the Fusion. Get the job done. Gotta be annoyed if you're TviQ.
Yeah.
There was no need to push that aggressively. None at all.
Yeah, when he dies in that position, you give obviously the man advantage to the Philadelphia Fusion, and at that time they already had such a big advantage in terms of ultimates. They had both support ultimates and Dragon Blade. Their Dragon Blade, they only get one with it. Carpe still has a pulse bomb that moment in time. You just gave them a huge advantage there towards the end, where they were so close to finishing the map out already.
EQO is sat on that Dragon Blade for 2 of TviQ's uses. So again, that would be interesting to see how that develops over the season. Are we seeing another player that sort of likes to sit back and wait for the prime opportunity? because EQO definitely found it towards that last fight, man. Very good time.
And we saw the stats with the Tracer players, during the break and halftime. Right now, Carpe is 19 limbs, 1 death, 10 final blows. You have LogiX on the other side, 6 limbs, 1 final blow, 4 deaths. So Carpe is still getting the better of this Tracer battle.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all here. Florida Mayhem's DPS players are getting trashed in this matchup. It seems as if the Philadelphia Fusion are playing far more effectively around them.
There we go. That's an effective way to use that.
Yeah. You know what? When the cooldown comes down, I think you can even use more. Yeah.
I love how everybody gets so excited over like stuff like that, the Symmetra in the spawn. It's like
the old Melty esports team, the first professional Overwatch team, to be fair, they formed before the closed beta even came out, had a trick where they would just dance around as Torbjorns.
He's just like barreling his. What
Sure.
is?
I think he's trying to.
What are the Fusion doing?
But they just don't care. They're flexing.
Neptuno is gaining a sight line here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Don't try and make this legitimate, man.
It's legit. It's legit.
He's getting a sight line, and
yeah, he's
that's
getting
definitely
an advantage
true.
there.
That's not true. No. Although somewhere in the building, Dak is smiling. My man. All right, Mayhem on the attacking side now. They must come up with something a little bit special for us here to keep themselves alive in this series. It'll be another disappointing loss. It'll be their 11th. Not the Mayhem. Their fans will be wanting, but now it's time to start the fight. Speed boost already. EQO being leapt upon. Beset on all sides. Tries to take a breather, but there might just be too much damage for him to deal with in the Riz. LogiX picks him up. However, in the process, EQO had got enough damage on the Manaton's mech to remove him from it. Now the Mayhem take a breather, literally. Sitting in that back corner there. Poker now as well, getting a bit chunked down. He's low, he's going to be removed, but Frankie was there to remove Zebasai. TviQ now, a lot of damage there that he couldn't block. He will fall, and Mayhem now just going to get corralled. They're going to get sent off to the abattoir, Matt. It's a bit of a grisly way of putting it, but that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, and going into that back corner, it actually provides Boombox. A really good opportunity to get a ton of value out of Moira, right? A lot of damage or healing he can provide with those orbs. Then also just being able to heal multiple targets in that close area. He's able to build up Coalescence right away. Neptuno getting very close to a sound barrier. See if Carpe can hit another great pulse bomb, just waiting for the supports to come on through.
Zebasai might be his prime target, or maybe more than one. Oh, hello! Super! Always getting left behind by the Florida Mayhem. His passive positioning can cause him to be easily zoned out from the rest of his team. Oh, that's wishful thinking, Carpe. Goes for the long shot, doesn't connect it, but the rest of his team are doing a good job overall on the point there. It looks like the Fusion have this job well in hand.
He doesn't kill either of those supports, but the fact that Florida, they just dive everybody on into that back corner again on the EQO, but then there's no support for Florida because they're trying to deal with Carpe at the front. So
he's just driving a wedge in between the back line of Florida and their front
line. But
line.
it's the same thing that happened on Hanamura. They kept getting caught out, the supports from Florida. They were not actually
Why does this happen when they have a speed boost here on their Lucio?
It just seems like they like to keep Zupe a little bit at range where he can just put down a lot of just free damage.
True Ana player. He's playing Zenyatta maybe like Ana. That might be one reason. We'll have to ask him after. Because it happens a lot. It's something you can identify easily. Sound barrier now here for Florida Mayhem. They need to make good use of this one. So far, not so bad. Micro Rockets claim EQO. And the Transcender's over the point here just to make it a little bit safer for the Mayhem to get aggressive. Poco gets Pulse Bomb. D-suited now. Self-destruct to try and get his mech back. It's going to be Frank with a Primal Rage out the back of the point just to knock the Florida Mayhem around a little bit more. And Carpe's getting in and around it. Boombox with the Coalescence found Zebasai in the meantime. And there's another Pulse Bomb here for Carpe. Ready and waiting to go. It might be for Manaton. He doesn't even get back in his mech. Not even really allowed to play the game if Carpe has his say. TviQ sheepishly backpedaling there with the reflex. Carpe lets him live for now.
And that's a tough fight lost there for the Florida Mayhem because you used both your support ults and you actually got a much better sound barrier out of Zebasai than you did on the opposite side. Neptuno uses his sound barrier, only obviously connects with himself. He gets Boombox as well, so you were not able to get any of those big tanks with the sound barrier or Carpe. Get a really good use out of it from Zebasai early, just not able to capitalize. They do have a Dragon Blade though here with TviQ, no support ult on the side of the Philadelphia Fusion. EQO could drive him back though with the whole hog.
He's going to go for the Ritz, he's going to make the gambit. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, but LogiX has already been taken down again by Carpe. The anti-Tracer player really coming into his own in this match. And TviQ comes up devastatingly short there with the Dragon Blade, finds very little for it. And guess who now has a chance just to roam around? Carpe seizing space and kills as he goes through. Self-destruct. Manaton was no way he was going to get away from that one. And Swooshdown's going to get blocked out. Frankie's not going to let him out. He's just going to sit there with 1 HP, get staggered. He actually does fall. Frankie actually is down as well. Swoosh, sorry, being corralled in, and this is it. 10 seconds left.
They can get pretty aggressive here, though. You have a whole hog to knock them back, and you have both your support ults here. They're going to fall back to the point as the push starts to come in.
Now, EQO go take a breather now. Time for the whole hog just to push back to Florida Mayhem here. It's a lot of aggression. It's a lot of speed here for Florida. They pressure forward. They know they need to go for this one now, but EQO gets stuck. Another take a breather. Somehow this man is still alive. Chain hook cooldown is available now. He's looking for his next target. It might be LogiX. He doesn't connect the hook, but he finds him with a headshot. Cleans him up with a scrap gun at point blank range. There's no way you're coming back from that one. Swoosh is his next quarry, and that's going to be it. The Fusion will take the series at 3-0 with one match to play. My God, they look good doing it.
And, you know, you mentioned the DPS players for the Florida Mayhem. I really think it's just they need to help the supports out a little bit more. Every time we were on with Carpe, you saw he was able to just get 3 damage on both of these supports. Carpe finishes 35 limbs, 17 final blows, 1 death, an insane game for the Philadelphia Fusion DPS star.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.